The Great Glen Way is an 80-mile long-distance trail from Fort William to Inverness. It follows the course of the Great Glen fault line, an immense feature in Scotland's geography that can be seen from space. This fault line formed about 400 million years ago when Scotland and the Appalachian Mountains formed the Caledonian mountain range of Pangaea. The two tectonic plates slipped past each other, carving out the valley that now contains Loch Lochy, Loch Oich and Loch Ness. Join me as I journey along canals, through forests and up hills following the incredible Great Glen Way. Well, good morning to day 4 of the Great Glen Way. Just left Loch Ness hostel. I slept amazingly. The beds were so comfortable. It's one of the friendliest hostels I've stayed at. Really great people. Loads of activities. Just really fantastically thought out and all run by volunteers predominantly. So today we're heading up and up and over down into Drumnadrochit, and then there's a campsite there, but if I stay at Drumnadrochit tonight it's going to be nearly a 20-mile day tomorrow, so I might stop for dinner and then push on afterwards and wild camp somewhere maybe 3 or 4 miles further down the trail. But that's a problem for future me in about 6 or 7 hours or so. For now it is just gone 9:15. It's a beautiful morning. The winds on Loch Ness are just whipping up the waves, and it's like supposedly up to 60 mile an hour gusts this morning. So on the one hand I'm glad to be in the trees away from the wind, but on the other hand trees plus wind is not usually a great combination, so but I don't think it's not that strong actually, so it's all fine. But yeah, just taking my time up this first incline, getting warmed up, and yeah, enjoying being back on the trail. Only 7 miles to Drumnadrochit, which is nice. Just coming up out of the trees and starting to get some views. Still very windy. Lovely view out over Loch Ness towards the north. Beautiful. This is an absolutely gorgeous little stretch. It's the perfect mix of like pine plantation and then birch trees, and yeah, the odd oak tree. So it's like really nice and mixed, and it's not too closed in. It feels nice and open and airy. Although I was getting a little bit unnerved earlier because I kept thinking I could hear things moving in the forest. And obviously when I knew that there was deer around, I was excited at the prospect of seeing them. I'll very soon be coming to the Alltsigh little pottery and cafe, so I'll probably stop there for a cup of tea, bite to eat, and just a bit of a rest really. This is quite nice. looks like they've been doing forestry work and they've put in this brand new gravel path. So this is like, this feels well fancy by comparison. But yeah, I wonder if that means that there's going to be quite a few trees felled over here. Looks like it. There's quite a lot of heavy machinery. Oh yeah. Wow, when all of the trees in front of it are cleared, it really makes you appreciate just how tall some of these get. That's crazy. Anyway. I love the little interactions that you have on the trail. I just bumped into a guy who was walking his dog, and the dog was like yapping and going mad over the fence, the gates for some reason. So this is maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the wrong way away from the trail, but it's not super far to walk, and this place is kind of famous on the trail, so I had to stop here. Well, I just stayed at that cafe for way longer than I intended to. I don't know if it was the phone signal or what, but I just could not get my card to work. It's brightened up, and look at that. This, the bedrock around here, and like the way that it forms these like cliffs with moss and trees, it reminds me so much of Canada. And it's funny, I just bumped into some Canadians in the cafe who were from Ontario. So they're about 2 hours north from Toronto. I'm just like, well, how would you ever come to a different country if you lived in Ontario? It's just an amazing country. I had the gluten-free Viennese plum cake, and it was £5 for like a slice of cake, but it was bloody gorgeous. They must have put like nutmeg in it or something, so it was absolutely delicious. It was just what I needed actually, and I had 2 big cups of tea, all in crockery and like a teapot that they've made in the pottery. So that was quite a nice little touch. I was tempted to buy something, but there was nothing that was sort of small enough that really took my interest, and it's quite expensive as well, so I couldn't really justify it. It's about 4.5, maybe 5 miles into Drumnadrochit, and it's all road, so I'm really not thrilled about that. So I'm glad that I had, oh here we go, get off the road a little bit. I'm glad that I had a good rest at the cafe, because it just gives my feet a bit of a chance to sort of recuperate from the last stretch before there's a lot more just like trudging down the road. And it's 12:15, but because I'm going to be wild camping tonight, I kind of don't need to rush to get anywhere. It's just a case of walk until I find somewhere decent to stop, really. I've got 7 hours until it even starts to go dark, so actually I've got so much time to play with. I'm surprised by how different this part of the trail is actually. It's suddenly got very agricultural. It's very different to like the forest that I was in earlier. Definitely not my favourite kind of environment to walk in, but it's quite nice to have a change, and it's nice to have like the open views to look around and see how people live around here. But anyway, I'm waffling now, so I'll put this away and I'll crack on. There's a few pigs just at this farm. I have to say, since I've left that cafe and walking on this road, my legs just feel heavy. My bag feels really heavy as well. Maybe I just need a bit of time to warm up again. I'm really not a fan of road walking. It's rough on the feet. It's a bit long, boring. I guess that's just the way it is sometimes. I've got a couple of audiobooks I can listen to if I need a bit of extra entertainment. Nice to have the beautiful weather though, and the wind. I realised earlier today actually that I've hardly seen a single midge on this whole walk, and I guess because it's been quite blustery, obviously they can't fly in anything above like a breeze, so it's just keeping the bugs away. Well, it's not keeping the bugs away, but it's keeping the midges away for sure. It's got a googly eye. That's my kind of sign. I love it. I still haven't seen any cats today though, unfortunately. I miss my cat, so it would be nice to see one. That's a view of Drumnadrochit already. And it's only about 1:20, so I've somehow made up excellent time. Yeah, I just gotta come down through this forest. I'll be in Drumnadrochit probably within half an hour. So what, 2 o'clock? Can have a nice long break. And then I'll probably set off again around 3 o'clock. Try and find somewhere to camp a couple of miles down the road. But yeah, this is quite a nice stretch of the forest actually. It is quite bland compared to everything that I've done so far, but I just had my headphones in, just listening to my audiobook and just crushing the miles actually. Yeah, enjoying it. Even though my feet are absolutely killing me, yeah, I'm still having a really good day. It's awesome. That is an almost completely clear blue sky. Can you believe this is Scotland in September? I was not even close to expecting this kind of weather. I wish I'd put on some sun lotion because I'm probably going to be burning to a crisp. Especially with the wind, I'm not going to be able to feel it. Shit. But I'm very nearly at Drumnadrochit, so yeah, we'll have a chance to stop and sort things out soon. Drumnadrochit's a really interesting place. It's like a really big town, but there's nothing in it. So it's just like, shit, it's just like really spread out. And then there's nothing here. But yeah, it's funny seeing everyone in like big puffy jackets and hats, and I'm just here in like a t-shirt. I wonder if that's mainly tourists or it's just me. So I kind of inadvertently ended up deciding to get a hostel. I was sat in the place where I was getting some food, just trying to decide what to do in terms of where I was sleeping tonight, and looking at the options, and there's a wild camping like campsite that doesn't have any running water, and it's about 8 miles away, so that would have taken me about 3+ hours probably with the incline. And then there's no obvious, like I was looking at the maps for nearly 2 hours trying to find anywhere that would be a decent wild camp spot for tonight. But there was just nothing that I could find that was sort of half decent. So then I was gonna camp at the campsite in Drumnadrochit, but it was actually only a few quid more to get a hostel bed. And to be honest, on those last few miles down into Drumnadrochit, my feet were starting to fall apart a little bit. So it means I've got a longer day tomorrow, sort of best part of 20 miles. But I think I'm gonna, it's 5 o'clock now, so I think I'll probably just sort of have a very early night here, just chill out. I won't be doing all the socialising that I did last night, that's for sure, because I'm shattered. But yeah, probably gonna just chill out here, let my feet rest a little bit, and try and get an early start tomorrow, so that I can sort of take as much time as I need to, because yeah, like it's one big incline first thing tomorrow, probably about 5 miles, gradual incline, but then after that it's all kind of like a gentle descent down into Inverness. So I figured, you know, the last night, it's not a big deal to have a big push on the last one, because I know I've got a decent hotel bed at the end of it. But yeah, it was only £22.50 for this hostel, and it's really nice. It's like modern, so this is the hostel room, and then it's actually got its own private ensuite shower and bathroom, which I've never seen before in a hostel. I'm in a mixed sex dormitory, so I don't know who I'm going to have with me, obviously. But yeah, it's really nice. It reminds me a bit actually of the King's House bunkhouse on the West Highland Way. It's that kind of like big modern purpose-built building. It's a lot different to the one that I was in last night, but it's quite nice change of scenery. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna make any more videos today, but if not, then I'll see you tomorrow. Some Highland cows up there. Tell you what, it's another beautiful day this morning. Coming up out of Drumnadrochit. First stretch is quite a busy road, but it's not too long. You got a friend for life there, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I thought this stretch was quite short, but actually it just goes, it's like over a mile of just road. So that's a bit shit. But there's a beautiful view over to Loch Ness over there. Just come off the road and there's Urquhart Castle. Looks really lovely in the sun. So I think it's just a bit of agricultural land for a bit until we get out of the glen. Yeah, can't complain when the weather's like this. It's beautiful, beautiful morning. Wow, just gained only a tiny bit of elevation, but now got a gorgeous view up over Loch Ness. There's the castle on that peninsula down there. Can see why they put it there. It makes complete sense. It's surprisingly warm today, and I'm definitely not as much of a warm weather hiker as I am a cool weather hiker. Oh, that's nice. The trail's just about to go into some
pine trees, so I can stop complaining about being too warm now. Oh, looking forward to this bit. Should be nice. I love a good forest in the morning. It's been quite a lot of these. This is cool. So they lived where a Hart Castle is now. I don't really know much about the Picts. I'll have to do some more reading about them. They're quite interesting. Yeah, that's cool. There's just this absolutely enormous birch tree that's come down. It's all over the path. And then next to it you've got this. I'm not sure what that is, but it's rugged as heck. It looks incredible, just contrasted against all of the tall pines. Oh, that's so cool. I was just thinking to myself that I'm really glad that I got that hostel last night. That stretch of road yesterday would have been so awful on my feet. I think it would have made me a bit miserable. And then doing this climb after having done about, probably 7 odd miles of road walking. I did see a potential spot where I could have camped just down there in the trees, but you know, I would have had to have walked for another hour and a half probably uphill last night. And I was really struggling with my feet, so managed to get that nice cheap hostel room. I actually got the whole room to myself because the other person that was booked in didn't show up, so that was nice. Although I was sort of waiting up for ages expecting some random bloke to like appear, so that made me a bit anxious in the night because I didn't know if at any point someone would just come through the door and then I'd have to like wake up and be a bit disoriented. But it all turned out well in the end. I got a fairly decent sleep, probably better than I would have done if I was wild camping, so I feel quite well rested for this long stretch today. Now that I've got higher up, I am seeing a few more wild camping spots, like there's one here and then there's a few down there, but knowing that I would have had to have come all the way up here last night after already having wrecked feet, I think I would have been fuming. That's cheating. Also, he had a sniper rifle. I guess he's out on the call for deer because he had a big stick as well. Anyway, I'm just sitting at this beautiful spot overlooking the lake. Yeah, just having a bit of food and some water before I tackle the next incline. I think I'm over the steepest bit. This would have been a really nice wild camping spot as well. If I'd have made it up this far, I might have just said, sod it, I'm going back to Drumnadrochit. Well, that's cool. Oh, there's the gamekeeper. This is the trail review. Check yourself before you Shrek yourself. That's funny. Is that gonna fall if I... Yeah, yes it is. I'm feeling a bit kind of out of sorts today, this morning. I don't really know why. I can't get my bag to sit right on my back. And so it feels like it's constantly like pulling me backwards. Things just aren't sitting properly. And it's making me a bit agitated. But yeah, should be getting to the end of the biggest up soon, I think. It's nothing too major at the moment, it's just a sort of long, slow incline on a gravel track. Oh my god, so I was just looking at these trees on this rocky ledge and thinking, oh, it looks so much like Canada. And then I realised, oh, that's the top of Loch Ness. And then, oh, that's the sea. Ah, the end is in sight. That's the sea. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good feeling. Wow. It's really quiet now. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's a house just up there with like a barn and a greenhouse and cars. I'm just thinking, like, who the hell lives up somewhere like this? Well, that was a strange interaction. Just had a guy in a pickup truck drive up from that house that I was just talking about and pull up alongside me and ask if I'd seen anyone in a drive up this way. And I was like, I saw a couple of guys on quad bikes earlier that looked like they were heading up this way, but I've not seen any vans or anything. He's like, oh, okay. And so he drove on about 20 feet and stopped and then reversed back. And he's like, sorry, did you say they were up here? And I was like, sorry, no, I haven't seen them up here, but it looked like they were heading up this way, so they might still be down in the forest, I'm not sure. And he's like, oh, right, okay, I'll go and see if I can find them. And I was like, yeah, I think they're out with the guns, maybe shooting deer, I'm not sure. I wonder if he's arranged to meet up with them today or something, and they've got separated. It's funny. But that's kind of answered my question, so I guess how the people that live in that remote house are probably like rangers, or, well, I don't know. They might own the land. Who knows? But yeah, looks like I'm gonna head back up into the forest for a bit now. But yeah, this bit's awesome, and even better, the clouds have come in and the temperature has dropped, so I'm really glad for that, because I was suffering with the warm weather earlier. It's part of the reason I come to Scotland, is because I know it's going to be cooler weather. You know, even though I said to the guy that the guys on the quad bikes haven't been up here, I've been like following the tyre tracks ever since I first saw them, just because I was curious where they were going. I mean, they just happened to be on the Great Glen Way, but I've been keeping an eye out for them. And there's a very quad bike looking track just up here, which is where the bloke in the car said that they weren't supposed to be. So I wonder if they have come up here actually, and they have like misunderstood where they're supposed to meet him, and there's just like a ranger wild goose chase happening. I'm sure they can just phone one another or something. It's very bizarre. But if I do bump into them, I'll let them know that the guy's looking for them. Anyway. Oh, I can hear the van again. I guess he's realised that his mates have actually come up here and he's following them. That's quite funny. He gave me a wave when he went past. But anyway, we're in the Aubrey Forest Trust. So I am here. I'm going to go up this way, join with this path, and then go along to the north. So it's quite cool. Oh, there's a high route you can do as well. I won't be doing that. It goes up to 434 metres and I really can't be doing like additional hill climbing today on top of 19.5 miles. As much as that would be really cool to do. Oh, I'm loving this section. There's so many colours off at the side of the path. Like you've got the pink heather, you've got the bright green moss, you've got the like pale colours of the reindeer moss. There's even some like deep red mosses as well that are contrasting the green. And it's just like so much diverse life and so many bright colours to look at. It's just fantastic. Look, there's the peat. So I guess this is all peat bog. I've said before that this area reminds me a lot of Canada, and it like I think I forget that the Scottish Highlands were part of the same mountain range that Eastern Canada is from. You know, like I'm talking millions of years ago. So it makes sense that you'd have like the same bedrock, and it's a similar latitude as well. So it also makes sense that you'd have similar plant life. But like, just look, it's not going to show up on camera, but like the colours in that moss, it's like orange and yellow and green. It's amazing. There you go, there's some of that reindeer moss I was talking about. That's really common in like Ontario and Sweden and places like that. But yeah, I think because I associate the UK with being a mild country, I forget that we are also a very long and thin country, and so there's quite a lot of climate variation. So when you do actually get up into the Highlands, you know, it's very similar to like parts of Sweden and Canada and places like that. Yeah, it reminds me that the UK is actually wild in places. Coming up on a sign. Drumnadrochit 9 kilometres, Inverness 18.8, Aubreykin forest paths. Cool. Bit of down now, so put this away. Well, this is really nice to see. Native Cunning. It's talking about the timber industry and how in the 20th century they mainly just focused on producing like volume of timber as quickly as possible. But now they actually focus on biodiversity and you know, they still have to make timber, but they thin it out to allow other trees and plants to grow. That's really cool, because I was talking about that a couple of days ago, about how, you know, they're planted so thickly. So that's really awesome to know. Oh, I'm learning so much on this trail. That fills me with optimism. Okay, onwards. Wow. The view's really opened up now and you can see for miles. I wish I knew the names of all of these mountains, because I'm sure there are Munros galore over there. There's just layer upon layer of hills. Maybe if I reduce the brightness a little bit, you'll be able to see them. I say hills, they're mountains. They're like clearly mountains. You know, I'm already thinking about the next trail that I want to do, and the one that's been sort of in my mind for quite a while is the African Tail Way, and that's only a 3-day hike, roughly speaking. I think it's about 40 miles, but it actually starts in Drumnadrochit, where I've just left, and it heads northwest to a place called Morvik, and it kind of starts off on a lot of forestry tracks, but it gets more and more and more rugged and more wild as the trail goes on. And so I think that would be a really good one as like a entry point into some of the more remote trails of the Highlands, because it's somewhere that I 100% want to visit more. It's just a matter of building up the fitness and the right skill set and the right gear to be able to safely go up that way without, you know, getting myself into any trouble. Some epic hills in the distance. They're just huge. Stop calling them hills. They're definitely not hills, they're mountains. Some picnic benches, people stop and have lunch. Coming up to the campsite that does the soup, the cake. Oh, and they've got water, yes. Well, that was a short-lived dream. Should have realised by the state of it that it wasn't working, so no water. And then there's this mad wrecked caravan. Tell you what, if I'd come here last night, this would have been creepy. What the hell? Huh. Ugh. Fantastic. More road. So I didn't end up stopping at the cafe restaurant thing. Just in case you didn't know, there's about 10 signs that all say the same thing, and I think it's like to drum up your appetite by the time you get there. Goose egg honesty box. Oh, that's sweet. Midge solutions, energy drinks, plasters. Nice. Okay, so the good news is that since I stopped at Inverness and cut that chunk out of my shoe, it seems to have fixed the problem. So I've just duct tape over it, and then I had to like sew the duct tape to the shoe, which took me ages, and it was a bit ridiculous. But as long as I don't lean my foot too far on like this angle so it's pushing against the ankle, it's golden. But the bad news is there's about 2 miles of this. I didn't have much of a rest for lunch, so I'm kind of maybe slightly regretting my decision not to stop at the restaurant, because it would have been nice to have a sit down. But at the same time, I still have like 11 miles to do today, and it's 20 to 1. So I don't know. I'm just kind of waffling at the moment because the scenery's less good. But I've got a Boost bar to look forward to. And I've also got a Millionaire shortbread as like a... I've been carrying it since Lagan. It was stupid. I just kind of went mad and bought loads of extra stuff. So yeah, I think I'll have a celebratory shortbread later when I start struggling a little bit. Just passed through the little hamlet of Lady Cairn, where there is actually a little stone cairn. And there's probably about 5 houses, but they all have this absolutely nuts view of all of these mountain ranges from basically the back window. My first thought was, why would people live this remotely? And then I saw the view and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Wow. There's some absolute monsters over there. Some 1,000 meters or above as well, which is, seeing them from this far away, you can tell they're absolutely massive. It's a bit windy again. I'm getting hit by cars that I can't hear because it's so windy. Slow down now. I was just going to say, I just checked my map officially over the halfway point for today. So it's about 1:10 and I've done about 10 miles so far. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. That's really good going. Even though this stretch of road is a bit shit, the views out over to the west are top notch. And I've just seen as well that very soon is where the turn off point will be, so I'll be able to get off this surface. This roadside has bullet holes in it. Hallelujah. Oh. Oh, that could not come a moment too soon. It's good to have a different surface under the feet. And just the sort of descent down into Inverness now, last final push, 8 miles or so. Oh wow, this is a little sign about the drovers, saying that this stretch of the Great Glen Way overlaps an old cattle droving route. Drovers must have been some absolutely hardcore folk. You know, sleeping out in the plaid, living off bannock. The Highlanders in particular are masters of this difficult trade of driving. It affords exercise for all their habits of patient endurance and active exertion. They are required to know perfectly the drove roads which lie over the wildest tracks of the country and to avoid as much as possible the highways which distress the feet of the bullocks. I know how they feel. But yeah, like, you know, the Great Glen Way is 80 miles and a lot of that is over modern, well paved, well signposted areas, and that's, you know, a decent challenge in itself. So I can't imagine having to deal with hundreds of cattle and you know, not having modern equipment to sleep out in, and just having to basically wrap yourself up in a big plaid and deal with the midges. Oh, just noticed this. Yeah, I've been doing tick checks. I've not found any. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I reckon it's time to crack this open. I seriously need some proper protein though. I've been like living off chocolate and carbs for 5 days, apart from the beef burger that I had yesterday. It was like the only proper meat I've had for 5 days. So I think I'm gonna treat myself to a feast this evening. Have like a proper burger or lasagna or something. That'd be great. Oh. I'm about just shy of 5 miles now from Inverness. I just had a quick break sitting down on a log to rest my feet, and I had a very strange interaction. There's quite a lot of BMX riders on this stretch, I guess, coming up from the city. And this older couple went past, and the guy was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just sitting." And he was like, "Oh, because when I see someone sitting by the trail, I'm not sure if it's because they're just having a rest, or if it's because it's like, oh, I've got 2.5 miles and I can't be bothered, I don't want someone to come and rescue me." And I was like, "No, I'm good, thanks. I'm just resting my feet because my feet are sore." This stretch is kind of same, and similar like trees, but it's nice. And you can actually see out to Bewley Firth over there. So that's really cool. Because obviously, even this trail ends, like this trail's technically a coast to coast, as I said at the beginning, but because it ends in Inverness, you don't actually get a chance to go to the sea. Just ready for the day to be over now, to be honest. You know, I've done 15 miles already, and I've still got a fair whack to get down into the city, but I'm feeling kind of smug because I've overtaken pretty much everyone that set off a little bit before me this morning and left them in my dust. Because once you get me on the flat, I'm just like off like a rocket. I don't want to stop. So as long as my feet don't explode on me, I think I should be down into Inverness within probably an hour and a half. So probably by 5 o'clock. So that's exciting. And then straight to the pub. Whoa. So I've just got my first view of Inverness. And having been, in the countryside for 5+ days, seeing a city of that size appear is kind of intimidating. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. But it's also good to know that I'm within spitting distance. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing this trail. Very excited. Really pleased with myself, honestly. Proud of the pace that I've put in today. Chuffed that I've finished it. Well, I know I haven't finished it yet, but chuffed that I've nearly finished it in 5 days. And also really happy that I kept a positive mindset through some of the biggest challenges. Having done several long distance trails before, I think not many people realise that although there is the physical challenge of it, of like walking the distance, one of the biggest challenges is just what's going on in your head. And when the scenery's shit or when the ground is shit, are you complaining to yourself about it, or are you like trying to stay positive and upbeat and enjoy it regardless? And I think that's something that I tried to do for this trail, and I think it actually helped me enjoy it a lot more for keeping optimistic and keeping positive. So just some sort of reflections on the way down. But not out of the proverbial woods just quite yet. Still a little while to go. This stretch is really nice with the dappled sunlight coming through the leaves. And there are these incredible, huge beech trees that are just creating this really, really pretty dappled light. Lots of benches as well. It's a shame that those benches weren't around 2 or 3 miles up the hill, because they would have been sorely required. But I think there's still about 3 miles left, but I'm descending really quickly. So I think now it's just going to be a lot of like walking through the suburbs of Inverness. I mean, that building obviously looks like Hogwarts. I don't know what it is, but it's even got like the tunnels. It's wicked. Turrets, rather. But seeing all of the houses spread out around Inverness makes me realise how big the place is. I know I said that already, but it's cool. Excited to see what a city looks like this far north and how different it is from, say, Glasgow or Edinburgh. Well, there's just over 3 miles left, And once again, it's back on tarmac, which I'm not overly fond of. I mean, considering that I've got nearly 20 miles already, my feet are standing up admirably well. But that's all been on like soil tracks, and my brain's going a bit. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like on all of this tarmac. That's a really pretty building. Less than a mile left now though, and I'm currently on an island in the middle of the River Ness, which is really cool. Oh my god, an otter just came out of the river. No way. Well, that has just been the cherry on the cake. What the hell? That's incredible. It's swimming against the tide upstream. That's mad. Wow. It looks really silly. Well, that was awesome. I couldn't catch it on camera, but it came out of the water like its full body and looked straight at me. Wow, that was so worth it. Oh. And that is the end of the Great Glen Way. Bosh! Get in. Did it! Woo!